Hey RT family, Ryan Reynolds here with Keller Williams Consultants Realty and your August 2022 real estate market update. So what's going on here in August of 2022? Well, seasonally, this is a time of year when we expect things to slow down, and it is not disappointing us. Things have definitely slowed. The number of listings coming onto the market has slowed. The number of showings that are happening has slowed, and in general, the number of transactions has slowed down. You see in the national news many times they talk about price reductions happening and about markets maybe turning into buyers markets. That's not going to happen here. We just don't follow the same market conditions as Phoenix and these other big cities necessarily follow. So our market's still definitely a seller's market. However, the activity has slowed down. So what's causing that? Well, obviously there's a seasonality piece that is affecting that. And then a second thing that's affecting that obviously is interest rates. So those have come up since the beginning of the year from around 3%, maybe below that even on a 30-year fixed mortgage, to now they're around 5%. They had initially come up above 5%, then they went back down below 5%, and now they've kind of come up to 5-ish. That's where the average for 30-year fixed mortgage is right now. Now, historically speaking, that's actually a great rate. My first mortgage was at 7.5%, and I was really happy to get that. I know I talked to a lot of other agents who are more senior to me, and they are complaining that they had seen market rates as high as 18% back in the 80s. So I did see those. However, it was from a perspective of a much shorter person. So, you know, you can show you a little bit of youth. Anyway, moving along. So what else is affecting it? So interest rates, inflation is affecting it. So not only the inflation that you're hearing about that's going on nationally, where they're talking about 8.5 or 8.7 or whatever interest rate or year-over-year increase inflation has been, but also just the micro, like going to the grocery store and having to spend an extra 50 or 80 or 100 bucks for the same stuff you used to pay for, or going to the gas station and filling up your car and just being like, wow, that's a lot of money. Although those have come down a little bit, that's helping things. But I think people's perception right now is such that they're worried a little bit. And when people get worried, they just sit still. So that's probably having a slowing effect on our market as well. The last thing that is affecting it is really just the time of year. Again, kind of going back and doubling back down on that. I know everybody's starting school right now. Lots of people were trying to finish up vacations in the last few weeks. And so everybody's thinking about something other than buying a house or selling a house, unless you have to. So the good news is if you're buying a house right now, you have a few more options. The bad news is if you're selling a house, it may take a little bit longer and you may not get quite as much as you had thought you were going to get, but still you're getting a lot more than you would have gotten a couple of years ago. So those are the things that are affecting the market right now. Now, where are we going? That's the question I always get. People ask me sometimes, hey, are we going to see a recession like the 2008 Great Recession now that we're actually officially, well, depending on the government's definition, I guess, officially in a recession or not? If you go by the definition of 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, we're in a recession, and that happened a few times before, obviously, but the Great Recession of 2008, here's a little fun fact for you. So if you were to tell you how long it took us to recover home prices when the Great Recession hit of 2008, how long would you think that would have been? It happened in 2008. When was it that we got back to the same level we were prior to 2008? If you'd guess 10 years, would you think that's right? Maybe 5 years? Well, the answer is actually 3 years. 3 years is all it took for us to get from the 2008 levels back to, or I should say the bottom of the market, which was 2011 technically, to get back up to the values from the pre-recession. And so knowing that, the risk of buying a house right now is extremely small because we're not in any kind of condition like we were back in the 2008, 2011 timeframe. Jobs are strong. People have a lot of equity in their houses because the prices have come up, and we don't see that domino effect that we saw back then where people would lose jobs, not be able to pay their mortgage, and then they have foreclosures, which lowers the price of houses, which causes other people to default on their mortgage. So that cycle is not what's happening now, and we are expecting to be going through more of a flattening than a recession. So at least in terms of prices for residential homes. So all that said, things are actually looking pretty good. I'm excited about the fall. I'm excited for Buckeye football. I'm excited for all the barbecues and all the food that way. I actually like hot weather, so I'm not too excited about the cooling, but I know a lot of people are excited about that. And I don't know what you're excited about, but hopefully you're looking forward to the future. So that's what I have to say for this month. Just remember the Ryan Reynolds team, unlimited opportunities and exceptional experiences.